This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, good morning everyone. We're continuing in the Sefer Shoneh Halachos. We're in Siman Gimel, Halacha Tes. Last time that we learned this, which was about 6 weeks ago, before the Yom Nairam, we learned the sugya about speaking in the bathroom. The bottom line is, we saw Rabbi had certain leniencies, b'makam tzarech gadol, but the bottom line is, if katan tes is, the oisios got cut off a tiny bit. Lo yedaber sham, do not talk there. You're not allowed to talk in a bathroom. V'matzarech gadol, efshir demutter, kozman she'eino nifne. If you have a very important need, it's possible, it's permitted, as long as you're not actively defecating. Aval be'esh she'nifne, at the time that you're defecating, afilu l'tzarech gadol asar. Even if there's a big need, it's prohibited. Okay, that's what we did last time. Siv katan yud. Hanoshim ha'holchos beis hakisei hakavul rabim. Women who go to a public bathroom. Could go in b'chatzar beis haknesses, let's say in the courtyard of the shul. So normally you're only allowed to go into a bathroom one person at a time. Women are allowed to go in two at a time, and they dafka should talk. Women should dafka talk in the bathroom. Why? So no men come in. V'yisapru zu imzu. So nowadays they have this great invention called men's bathrooms and women's bathrooms. Even though the Rishonim are trying to be mevatel that, but that's why you have to vote. You have to vote not for people who give money to Jews. You have to vote for people who have basic human behavior. Anyway, women should dafka talk in the bathroom. V'yisapru zu imzu. Kedei sheyishma koilan. This way the voice will be heard. Mi bachutz. V'lo yikanes ish l'sham. And no man would go there. It's not a matter, and the issue of the man going there is not the man might see something. The problem is yichud. V'yisyached imam. And he'll be miyached with them. Next halacha. There's a halacha, you have to lock the door when you go to the bathroom. Yizgar hadelas ba'adoi mishum tznius. You should lock the door when you go to the bathroom because of modesty. V'miyavshar lizgar hadelas. If it's not possible to lock the door, v'ish acher roitza likanois, and a man wants to walk in. So the first halacha is you have to lock the door. What if there's no lock? The lock is broken. So what are you supposed to do if you're in the bathroom, there's no lock, and somebody wants to come in? Busy! No, you're not talk. You snort. If you can, you're not supposed to talk. You could snort. I mean, that's not how you know. Yeah, you make a noise, or you could take a horn in with you. You could, or a bell. Say, by the way, the halachos of going to the bathroom occupy a very major place in Shas and in Shulchan Aruch. If you remember the Gemara in Shabbos, the Gemara says in the end of days, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to come to the Avos and he's going to say, Banecha chatu, your children have sinned. And Avram's going to say, Yimachu Chiddush Shoneh, wipe him out. Yaakov will say, wipe him out. Yitzchak will say, let's make a deal. How long does man live already? 70 years? Until they're 20, they're not chayiv. So there's only 50 years left. 50 years, half the time is the night. So in the night, nobody's sinning anyway. Everyone's going to sleep. They're 20, so that's 25 years left. Out of the 25 years, half the time, they're either eating, drinking, or in the bathroom. Now that's many years in the bathroom. But you see in the Gemara that the bathroom was, you got to know how to behave because people, they spend part of their life there. Anyway, so you have to lock the door. Which means when you lock the door, you should be mechavein to be mekayim the mitzvah of locking the door when you go to the bathroom. So at the end of the day, you think to yourself, did I do any good deeds today? Yeah, at least I locked the door when I went to the Beis HaKisei b'kavana. Most people are mechavein, and you shouldn't say hineni muchan u'muzuman, but at least be mechavein to be mekayim the mitzvah of tznius. According to the Smag, we learned it's a dairaisa. Yud Beis, lo yifna ba'amida, do not defecate standing. Why not? Why not? It's a sifri, it's a doiraisa. You're not supposed to defecate standing. Okay. Yud Gimel. Misheni yachal yipanos. Let's say you can't go to the bathroom. You're constipated. So I heard from Harav Avigdor Miller, Zechasag Levracha, this was his advice. Eat an apple before you go to sleep, and drink a cup of water, and the Yeshua will come in the morning. That's what he said. But what do you do if you can't go to the bathroom? V'yeshev, sit down. V'yamoid, stand up. V'yeshev, and sit down ad sheyifna, until you can defecate. Why? The change of positions helps the tsoya maneuver out of the system. Okay? It's a halacha. So you can become another mitzvah. It's a very big inyan to be mafnet, to defecate every day before you daven. That's the best way to daven. Or yosiach daitim edvar machem, or distract yourself. Don't think about it. So you think about something else. These are the two eitzais. Okay?
Can a person daven during that time?
No. What? That they have to go?
They have to go, they can't go.
If they have the urge to defecate, they're not daven. Oh, they can't hold it.
No, they're constipated.
Oh, they're constipated, but they feel an urge to go. L'chadchila, they should go. They can't go. If they can't go and they could hold it in 72 minutes, then they could daven. But if they can hold it in 72 minutes, they cannot daven. Okay, so the best eitzah is you get up, sit down, jump up and down, distract yourself, but you don't want to start fiddling ba'oisai makayim. Why? It could cause hemorrhoids. The worst thing you could do is start, fooling around over there, because it could irritate and it could cause hemorrhoids. However, imroitza lamashmish v'piyat tabas b'tzror oy b'kissam l'ftach nekavav. If you want to sort of feel it in that area with a pebble or a chip to open up the orifice, yimashmish koydem sheyeshev. Do it before you sit. V'lo yimashmish achar sheyeshev. Don't do it after shekasha l'kshafim. It's like witchcraft. Now, I don't know. Yeah? That's what he says. Next. Lo yegala atzmai kiyim l'gedolim la'acharav tefach u'lefanav tvachim. We learned that in the Beis HaKisei, one has to be tsanua, which means that one should not pull the pants all the way down to the floor. Instead, one should only pull it down minimally what's needed to do what they need to do, which is 1 tefach in the back and 2 tefachim in the front. You have to do gedolim, 1 tefach in the back. You have to do ketanim, 2 tefachim in the front. It seems like this topic is not that popular. We only had 10 people here, mamish, a minyan mitzumtzum. What could I do,
It's one in the front.
1 tefach in the back and 2 tefachim in the front. Because in the front it could spritz, so you need more space. V'lo yoiser, not more. Now we learned that if there's a shower in your bathroom, then there's more leniency to uncover more, because that's a makom that people are undressed for rechitza. Okay? Ulektanim. So it's like this. If you need to defecate, okay, then you could uncover a tefach in the back and 2 tefachim in the front. If you need to urinate, you could uncover 2 tefachim in the front, and in the back, nothing. Let's say you're wearing underwear. Umashtin mu'umad, and you're urinating standing. Like most people, when they are mashtin, they do it standing, if they're not defecating. Lo yegala kiyim kama shetzarach. Then you just uncover what you need to. V'isha, a woman, me'achrei tefach. We only give her a tefach in the back, u'melefana loiklum, and nothing in the front. Women get less uncovered room. Next halacha, tezayin. Yizar shla yalach sham begadav v'guv min olav. Be sure you don't want to get your clothing dirty. You get your clothing dirty, you can't daven. You don't want to get your body dirty. You don't want to get your shoes dirty. Okay, let's rattle off. So let's go through some of these. Sivkat Yudzayin Hanifna Besada. You're driving to Wyoming. The next rest stop, 170 miles. Uva America Imrim. When you gotta go, yeah. What do? You have to go in the field. Hanifna Besada Me'achari Hageder. Someone who defecates in the field, behind a fence, or in a courtyard. Achari goes behind the wall. Abayis, yifne miyad, defecate right there. In other words, if there's a wall or a fence, you should do so right by the fence and not away from the fence. It's more modest to be right by the fence, so the fence is covering you. Now the question is there a lack of tznius if the guy behind the wall, he doesn't see you, but he hears the sound of the tsoya coming out? Is that a lack of tznius? No. V'afal pi shechaver shemea kol itusha ishamata. Even though in halacha, this is called your friend hears the lower sneeze. Yeah? You got that? I'm not explaining that. Ein bekach klum. It's okay. She'ein b'zeh isser mishum tznius. That's not a violation of tznius. Sivkat and yurches. V'im nifne bebika. What if you're in a valley and there's no wall? Yisrachek. Go far away enough that your friend does not see your uncovered flesh. Before you or behind you, meaning he doesn't see you uncovered. Even though your friend could see your body, but he's far away enough, he doesn't really see your uncovered flesh. And even though he hears the sound of the sneeze, now we have defecating advice from the halacha. You ready? Lo yeshev b'mehera. Don't sit down immediately. Uv'chayzek. Don't rush to the bathroom. Lo yeshev b'mehera. Don't sit quickly. Uv'chayzek. Don't force it out. V'lo yanos. Don't pressure the body to defecate. Lidchayk atzlo yosem midai. To push yourself too much. Shelo yenatek shinei hakarkashta. You don't want to dislocate the teeth of the rectum. Doctors, what would the medical reference here be? What? You don't want to push too hard. Don't push too hard. What? It's good advice. Don't push too hard. What about if it's nighttime? You say, well, it's nighttime, then maybe you could be undressed when you go to the bathroom. No. Yifne b'tzius b'layla. Defecate modestly even at night. K'may b'yom, like during the day. V'la yigala yoyser mimash magal b'yom. Do not uncover more than you would during the day. V'la yigala at sheyeshiv. Don't uncover yourself till you sit. Aval ein tzarich lehisrachek. You don't have to distance yourself. In other words, if you're on the way to Wyoming, and so you don't have to go far away enough that nobody could see you. Nobody could see you because it's nighttime. V'mein shamadim, no one's around. Nifne afilu b'rchayv. Now, okay, next halacha. You're walking down the street and you gotta go. Are you allowed to defecate in the street? I'm not talking about New York State law. I think it's against the law. But halachically, are you allowed to defecate on the street? You should. When you have to go, you have to go. Make sure it's not somewhere where people walk. You don't want someone to get dirty because of you. But if someone's around, you cannot defecate in front of a person, but you could defecate in the street. Okay, now we're going to do a very important halacha. If somebody holds in defecation, they're over a lav of bal teshaksu. They're making themselves disgusting. However, if there are people around, they can't do it in somebody's presence because it's not kavod habriyos. But what if somebody has to urinate? If somebody holds in urination, not only are they over a lav of Baal Teshaksu, they're also over a lav lo yeh b'cha akar. You're not how to make yourself sterile. And according to Shas, if somebody holds in a stream of urine, they could render themselves infertile. What? Right, very good. Where we have that in Yivamis? And the Samachs, right? Yeah. The Gemara tells many stories of people who held in urinating and they were no longer able to have children. So therefore, lahashtin, to urinate afilu b'yom, even during the day, b'fnei rabim, and the guys in Madison Square Garden, the guys in Yankee Stadium. Why? He doesn't know that it's been more than 10 years since they were relevant. Doesn't matter. He thinks that if they spend more money and they buy more overpriced, then they're going to win. And he has to urinate. The halacha is you have to urinate even publicly. Mutter im tzarach lekach she'ein lo imakam, if he doesn't have anywhere to go. Va'afilu b'nei isha mutter, even for a woman it's mutter. Why? Mibnei she'ish sakana im yamad atzmai. It's dangerous if you hold yourself in. There's no kavod abrius when it comes to urinating. Comes the Chazon Ish. Chazon Ish says this very interesting thing. I want to show you this. I didn't think we would get to it today, but here. What's the biology of why, if somebody holds in urine, it causes them to become infertile? Basically, in the times of the Gemara, a person had two streams, two canals, one for shechva zera and one for meiraglayim. One for a reproductive tract and a tract for excreting urine. And there's a danger, according to Shas, that if somebody holds in meiraglayim, it will back up, go into the tract of shechva zera and make a person infertile. Says the Chazon Ish, what's this talking about? We know biologically a person only has one track. Says the Chazon Ish, in the times of Shas, a person had two tracks. Nishtane hateva. Can you imagine? The human physiology changed. Chazon Ish writes, look in, there's in Halachos Pruravu, on page 46, second paragraph of V'hinei. V'hinei b'gemara mavuar, dahayu begid, there was in the male organ, Beis Shvilen, Echad leketanim, ve'echad l'shechva zera. Ukida Amar in the Gemara in Yevamos, Istatem guvasa da shechva zera. V'chein danu b'matamai b'meis b'kamis. The Gemara talks about somebody who's about mum, he urinates in two places. The Gemara in B'chayros talks about Beis nekavim. Uvedavar zeh nishtanu hatavayim, ve'etzleinu ein begid el shvil echad. Nowadays there's only one canal, Hazar Nichnas Begid B'Roisha Shesamach Laguf. And the Zera and the Re'aglam exit one body. And therefore the Poskim say that according to the Chazon Ish, we do not have the lav anymore of Lo Yeh B'cha Akar. And therefore if somebody has the urge to go, they cannot do it publicly. For other reasons also. But even for this reason you can't do it. You hear this? A very big chiddush. Nishtane hateva legabe this. Okay, we'll do a little bit more. A woman should never urinate, not only in front of a person, but even in front of a child. It's considered exceptionally brazen. It's chutzpah. Aval it's studded to go off on the side. She'ena mashtenes neged panamamish mutter. But it's off to the side. It's not right opposite the child's face. It's permitted. Which is really, a woman has a little baby, and she thinks, okay, the baby doesn't know. The baby is 6 months old. She should not take the child in to the bathroom outright where she urinates. Sivkat and Chav Gimel.
What about sakana leaving child on the anyone watching?
Means sakana because the 3-year-old is outside. The sakana
because the child will go, someone can kidnap or something.
Oh, you mean it's a public area?
Public area, right?
Oh, yeah. So then she has no choice. Yeah. Okay, let's do one more. Lo yashtin mu'umad. You ready for this? You're not allowed to urinate standing up.
Wait, because now doctor says that even for men it's better to sit down.
Yeah?
Did we just
Doctors? These doctors don't say that.
Which doctor are you? No, but
Okay.
Did we just say a few moments ago before that it was it's a common practice
To what?
to stand up?
Well, we know what common practice is, right? No, he said you should not defecate standing. Here he says, do not urinate standing, but we will see we get around this. Why? Because it drips on the feet. Now, if people see that you have droplets of urine on the feet, they're going to say you don't have a stream. If you don't have a stream, then maybe you can't procreate. You can't procreate. Say, how do you have kids? Oh, they must be mamzerim. Can you imagine? That's what the Gemara says. So therefore, you're not to urinate standing. They're going to see the gid is cut. Unless you're on a really high spot. Let's say you're on the top of a 2-story building. Or you're doing it into soft dirt so they won't spritz. Or we have our avit shomei raglam, our toilets. There's not really an issue. But it's not necessarily true because it still spritzes. It could cause, the water could spritz out. Could go in karka charusha, plowed field. If you don't have an available plowed field, let's say you don't have a plowed field available, and you can't sit. So now we're going to see next week, the halacha is that a person is not supposed to touch the male organ, especially if they're not married. If they're not married, it is usher to touch the male organ in a certain spot. So what do? Yisayea bebeitzim lahagbia hagid ktsas. Then you elevate the male organ with the beitzim to elevate it a little bit. Oyal yedei matlis ovet, or through a thick cloth. By the way, even through a thick towel, it is not pashut. You could touch the male organ. And we're going to talk about next week. I'm going to say it quickly now because in case somebody's not here. Basically, the male organ has 2 parts. There's the tip, and the tip is permitted to touch. But the part that could be in what is called a kishoy should not be touched. Now, if somebody's married, then then if needed, they could. If someone is not married, it is usher to touch that area. Okay, maybe I'll show off the camera exactly what we're referring to. Oh, one second, one more. Oh no, one more thing, and then so far today you have new opportunities to do mitzvahs. Okay, you have the great mitzvah of locking the door when you go to the bathroom. You have the great mitzvah of not pushing too hard when you have to defecate. And now, ready for the third mitzvah? The third mitzvah is im naflu nitzoytzoys al raglav mitzvah l'shav shafim. If it spritzes on your shoes, it's a mitzvah to clean it off. So you can do a lot of good deeds every day. Okay, we'll hold it over here.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.